Okay, we're here on Anderson Island. The American Legion is interviewing Anderson Island veterans, and today we're interviewing Clifford Purdy. And I have a few questions for him that he agreed to answer. So basically, the first thing is, what is your connection to Anderson Island, and how did you come to the island?
I came to the island through my daughter and her husband. They had a place on the island. Let's see, it's there's place was their place was on. I'm trying to think of what when we came there, we went to their home on 9.
We went to where we lived before on
Yeah.
Pioneer Drive.
Right.
Yeah,
So, but that's
Right on the
where
golf course.
That's where we landed.
you know where that one is. Yeah, I don't know what the question was, but
Basically, how did you come to, what made you come to the island? That we're trying to connect, this is for Anderson Islanders, so we're trying to connect, why are the people here?
well, we're here because when can I tell you that?
Sure.
See, the same thing when he decided in Reno that he had enough of taking guff from all the kids. We worked with youth all the time, usually, and runaways and pregnant girls and runaway. I mean, that's what we did when he stopped doing his engineering. And he said it's time to quit. So he quit before we got vested in anything, but that's okay. And Beth said, why don't you? At that time, we were working in Utah with my other son-in-law that had a camp for kids in the summer. He's a professor at the college. And he had a camp for kids, so we were there when we got the call, and they said, well, why don't you guys just come to Anderson Island? And, we've got an empty house and whatnot, so we said, well, we'll try it. And that's it. We'd been here once before, and we liked it, but we never thought we'd live here. But because they built a big home, they've got that nice home on the water, we've been here 20 years, and we love it. And it's like, it's like when they give you the dog and you really love it, you're never going to give it back. And that's the same thing if we like the area here. And Beth and Tim were a big, big thing in all of that because we love our kids and they all come out to visit, and so it's really nice. That's why we're here. And so we have not decided to leave yet. After 21 years now, isn't it, Beth?
Something
Probably,
like
I've been saying 20 years for about 3 years. Yeah. So that's what brought us here.
And what prompted you to join the service? Was there a draft, or did you volunteer? Was there some special occasion?
to join
The service.
the service.
Mm-hmm.
There was an opportunity there to become involved with it. And a lot of, it was just in a growing stage. And so it was it was a good place to be at that time with great men. Couldn't ask for it any better.
And you joined the Navy?
He didn't join, they called him in.
They called-
Because he missed reserves. You're not taping this, are you?
Yes.
So you're going to hear me
Yes.
too? Oh, I don't know if that's
That's
necessary.
fine. That's fine.
But he was going to school, and in the summers, he lived in Detroit, which was 600 miles south of where we were, or north of wherever you want to call it. So he went home for the summer to work so he could pay for next year of college. And he didn't make any reservations to go to his meetings there, so he got called in because he had missed so many meetings that summer. So he got called into the Navy. So he went in on December.
So they activated you?
They activated him immediately, yeah.
So
2 years later, he came back and finished college.
yeah.
And we got married at 5 days after he I think he came home on the 6th, we got married on the 12th of December. I had everything planned, in a big snowstorm that weekend. Everybody had to come from Detroit, and they had a hard time getting there because of the roads were full of snow.
So after 2 years, you went back to college, and then how did you then continue did you continue in the Navy after that?
Yeah.
Yes, they
Right.
know. He continued, and he got his first degree in mining engineering or geological. What was your first one?
Geological.
Geological engineering, and they weren't hiring that year, so he stayed another year and got his degree in mining engineering. So that was a good thing. And then he was able to get. He was in the mining business then for a long time.
Were you in the reserves while you were in the mining
Oh, yeah.
business? Uh-huh.
I was in the, and I was more active than I was prior to the first year,
Mm.
whatever.
Were you ROTC probably in the beginning, or?
Yeah, I guess you could say ROTC. But when I first, I signed on first in Detroit. And then I went away to college and I joined became active with my degree in the Navy because it gave me some people to help me if I needed help. They helped me get busy and do what I should be doing. And I say that with respect to the people that I first came in contact up there. And they had, their group was in, in the Navy. And they were sailors. They had a meetings almost 2 or 3 weeks, times a week. And because so many of these gentlemen were fishermen. Mm-hmm. And so they just came and started this post, I guess you could call it. And I went to Detroit for that summer to work, leaving the duty station up there. And of course that was a no-no because I was not attending meetings or anything like that. And I got a letter that said, "You're here, boy." So I went to Detroit. I was already there. And I started my doing the regular things for the Navy, and I went to 4 or 5 times a week to the meetings there. And finally one day I come home and there was a big box on my porch. This box was full of uniforms. And it says, "See you in Chicago in in the Navy there in Chicago. So that's where I took off from on active duty. And it was a fine experience. They did a good job teaching me about the Navy and the different parts of the Navy and so forth. And when I finished there at Great Lakes, my next assignment was back to Great Lakes again. So I thought, oh man, I'm not going to go through this whole thing again, am I? Well, so I went and I met with in the office down there. And the guy said, oh, he says, don't worry about it. He says, we're not going to send you home or anything. He said, we're going to teach you Navy. So they put me in boot camp and taught me a lot. And then they sent me to school, to meteorology school, and got off there after, I guess, what? We were married by that time, weren't we?
I don't think so. I wasn't married when you were in the Navy, honey, to you. I just wrote you letters every day that you burned with my dad in the furnace, which makes me mad to this day. All his beautiful love letters for 2 years. My dad said, you want these? And he said, nah, you can throw them. He was down, they had furnaces in those days. And my dad was doing something down there with the furnace and going through stuff and throwing them away. He was kind of watching and helping. He helped all right. I can't believe these guys would do something like that, can you?
No.
No.
So you became a weatherman then after that, or?
Yeah. Yeah.
5 of the hurricanes, he said he went into.
Yeah.
Flying.
With the ship or?
No,
No,
airplanes.
What they did was they sent me down to Miami, Florida.
Oh, that was
Which was
hard. I've got pictures of him. And I don't know if, they were out the other night of
Which
him at
was
the
a
beach.
hurricane center for
Yeah.
that part of it. And so I was stuck in it. And it was a really great experience because even though I was only a member of the well, I'd have to look at my chart, but anyhow, I was assigned this group down there in Miami, and basically what we did was we tried to follow the
Let's just tell you if you could come and sit, that's okay.
following the storms and everything, and keep the people safe. So it worked pretty well. But the problem was that there were not enough storms. We had to get more storms. And until we could get more storms, the ships, the airplanes were housed up north of where we were. And we had four that summer. And none of them were hurricanes, of course. But it was a good training.
So what did you do? Did you get in the plane and fly with them into the storm, or?
We did with this, but there was no storms. It wasn't.
Just a good wind?
Yeah, that's about it. And we
I thought there was one that you went into. You said you went into the eye of the hurricane. Is that in the middle of the eye?
no. No, sorry,
Oh, okay. That was the wrong husband.
but yeah. Then that couple of years I did that, and then I one day was called into the commander's office, and he said that, thank you for doing a great job, blah, 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 blah. I said, but he said, the federal government's closing you down.
You what?
Closing me down. What he meant was that that unit I belonged to was no more, it wasn't existing. So they mustered me out, took them a couple of weeks to do that. And
Prior to that, your mother got a letter from them
yes,
asking her to try and convince you to stay in because they wanted him to go to more schooling. And he refused. That was an honor kind of a thing that they liked him.
well, I was quite knowledgeable by the
Mm-hmm.
time. See, I was 4 or 5 months. And I ran the show for a while. But then as a military, I ended up, they went through my mother. Nice captain, he was a full captain, and we wrote her a beautiful letter. And I got my eyes on it once, and it disappeared. My kid brothers thought they needed it. So that was the end of my active career.
Did you go to the reserves after that?
Hmm?
Did you go to the reserves after that?
Oh yeah, I stayed.
When we were in Hancock and Houghton?
Yeah, I felt it was important enough to stay. Yeah, you know, to attend the meetings and stuff like that.
How long did you stay in the reserves?
About 6 years.
Well, till you finished college, and then we started moving around.
Yeah, 4.
How old was Beth? Let's say, how old were my kids? We had, 2 of them at college, yeah.
And then you did mining engineering after that?
Did geological work and exploration and stuff, and then went into more production stuff and developed different
You were at different mines.
mining properties. First one was iron ore in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and that was underground. Quite different than anything else I was exposed at the time. And then I went to Minnesota to develop
It was
Tech,
open pit, wasn't it?
Huh?
It was open pit mining, Minnesota. And then you went to where? We're both.
I worked 8 to 10 years there in putting that mine into operation. And I learned a lot about explosives. I learned that you could blow up, this is terrible, blow up people within 150 feet of the blast, and you could blow up about 3 or 4 million tons of material and do it just barely away from the state had a highway right through. And as long as we didn't blast beyond that high, we were okay. But anyhow, we had some beautiful blasts. Oh, man. Unbelievable.
Could almost be demolition in the service.
Yeah.
The thing was that.
That was open pit mining, then you went to underground.
Yeah, well, we found out that on some of those explosives that we handled, for instance, one shot was 36 feet. When we shot it, and we blasted we actually shot that shoot was 3,600 feet, and when we got there, the military was practicing their shots, and they were bad because we were 3,600 feet, and they had to dodge rocks and stuff like that. So.
Can you talk a little louder, honey?
So we put that mining there into work. I think I went through about 6 months of designing another shot. Method of shooting. Then I quit and I went to gold mines in Nevada, and I put them into operation and processing. And we actually took the ore out of the pit. Then we would crush it, and we would give it a bath of, I forget anyhow, we would dissolve the gold and then collect it, and then use it as a working thing, and we finally got to the point where we could take a ore that we had soaked and got the gold out of it. And that's about the time I quit there. And so I left there.
We spent about five, how many years there? I don't know, in Minnesota, and then we went to Nevada from Minnesota, right? Was that the next place?
To what?
Nevada? After Minnesota?
Yeah,
Okay. And that was gold
I
mining.
did, yeah. Back to the gold mines.
If you talk a little louder, honey, I don't know if they're gonna pick that up. Well, they, okay.
And then the other thing we had while you were in the service about a memorable service member, and you mentioned that Chuck Hoos
Chuck.
was a good friend that you met there while you were in the service,
Mm-hmm.
and you stayed friends after you got out.
Yeah,
He's called us several times since he's been sick when he was in the hospital. And what are those doctors doing? Don't they know? Blah, blah, blah. He's really upset with Cliff's health care here. But, you know, we're not, but he was. He was, yeah, he's pretty good guy. We've known him for a long time.
Chuck
Chuck and Annie, yeah.
and Andy.
Where did you meet him? While you were active, or in the
Yeah.
reserves, or
Probably at the beach. Probably
in
at the
Florida?
beach. Yes, there's pictures of them laying on the beach. They were here out the other night, yeah. They said he looked,
No, that's
that was Miami.
right. But we went to school together too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, what? 6 to 12 months that we went to school.
Yeah, they've been good friends.
And then at the end of our training, we went in different directions, but it was different directions meant that we to the same places, and we're right back to buddies again. The difference in Chuck was that Chuck had put 22 months on the USS Midway, and never had any problems with the weather. So they sent him to Miami.
So you being in the Navy and you didn't even get on a boat,
Never got a
just an airplane.
I got an airplane, and I did get a boat, but it belonged to the Coast Guard,
Okay.
and we were deep sea fishing.
While on duty, doing sampling, doing
Yeah,
fish
right.
sampling.
Yeah, he's got some really good pictures. There's a picture in the hall, Ray, that was taken. Chuck had made for Cliff because they were such good friends, and we were going down there for some special thing. And he gave it to Cliff, and it's a nice picture of him, and it has all his awards right around it. It's right
good,
there in the hall.
good. I'll take a picture of that.
Yeah, I don't know if we have to take it down to take a picture. You might want to set it down, you know, to take it because it's kind of dark now, but you can see whatever.
Dark.
But that kind of says everything, has all his things all the way around.
Good, good, good. And then you finally quit the reserves, and
I don't think I ever. I think it just.
they send you your DD 256, whatever it is, that says you're out.
No,
No.
Maybe you're still in.
I never got anything that I know of. So
You probably.
Maybe you're an admiral by now.
maybe we have what?
Maybe you're an admiral by now and don't realize it.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you. Let me tell you about the captain. when I got down there, I was, of course, the new rank. I was the youngest. The coffee had to be done for the captain when he came aboard. And so I was given the coffee pot and that, and man, that sucker was heavy. You know, little old aluminum coffee pot. And they gave it to me and said, go boy, make your coffee. So I did. And I just thought, what the heck? This stuff isn't coffee. The pot weighs 20 pounds.
Quite.
So I threw out that that coffee spill. Because I wasn't going to goof up. Because I get in trouble with the captain. And so I
You washed it good.
And I took this thing and I scraped it, and when I got finished, you could see yourself in a mirror, you know. And so I made my coffee for the day. And the captain came aboard, and there was a big yell. What is happening? Rah, 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 rah. What the heck? You call this coffee? This isn't coffee. What are you... Who's doing this? And the guys said, you're in trouble. I was in trouble. So they immediately got going and fixing the thing. And they made a couple of pots of coffee in a hurry, and it put some coffee flavor back into it. But I still had to go in front of the captain. And he was very gentle, really a gentle man. And he knew that a young guy is going to have a learning curve. Mm-hmm. And he never refused to talk to me. Always, if we meet on the stairs or whatever. So we were unique. We were in a club. They tore it apart and rebuilt it. And this club was a bar. And of course it was the Navy. We had that. It was in a Marine barracks, but that belonged to us. And so we got to use that, and nobody could touch it. And after the episode of me, they turned the cook job over to the Marine cooks, so they could catch that good. Well, it was one of the times stuff that happened.
So you still remember all that stuff. It's kind of interesting after that many years. You know.
Oh yeah, that's really good memory, honey.
Yeah.
He doesn't remember other things, but you remember that. That's pretty good.
Well,
He doesn't know what day it is, but he can remember all that stuff, and that's good.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
Good time. A lot of good people.
And growing up.
Yeah.
Growing up time.
Yeah.
Okay, can I take a picture of the picture?
Sure.